Clash of the Titans is the newest remake to hit theaters. It takes the 1981 fantasy adventure that used stop-motion animation and made it a glorified CGI fest. But is that all this movie is cracked up to be? The story revolves around basic Greek mythology and follows after Zeus becomes king of the gods and sends Hades to the underworld. At sea, a fisherman known as Spyros finds a baby in a casket with its deceased mother. Years pass and this baby is now a strapping young lad known as Perseus, played by Sam Worthington, who is obviously destined for great things because, well, we saw it in the movie poster and the trailer. One day at sea, Perseus and Spyro see a group of soldiers destroy an enormous statue of Zeus, practically declaring war on the gods, and out of nowhere, Hades shows up and destroys the boat Perseus and his family is on. His family doesn't make it, and Perseus seeks vengeance. Perseus has an identity crisis throughout the film, which is strange considering it's not the worst identity to have. People constantly tell him over and over again that he's a demigod, but he rejects who he is, claiming he only wants to be a man. Well, human. I was surprised the movie actually attempts at character development a bit, and I was somewhat pleased, actually. They could have taken it in another direction entirely, like when Spider-Man first learned he had powers. If someone tells you you're half god, I would have liked to see Perseus actually like the idea, and then struggle with it a little bit, learning little by little what he can do with his new learned strength. But they stuck with a "my father died, so I must avenge him" plot, which is fine and does the job, except Perseus' father isn't who he thinks he is until Hades spills the beans. Even here, Perseus doesn't seem to care. I've always had interest in Greek mythology, and although this movie uses its figures like Zeus and Hades, they aren't really as developed as I had hoped. Basically, it's set up as Zeus is good, Hades is bad. And we know Hades is bad because he talks with a voice like he smoked a carton of cigarettes a day, and Zeus is good because he stands around in a heavenly setting surrounded by white light. It's pretty basic stuff here. The CGI is done well for the most part. It is not really as overused as the trailer suggests. The scene where CGI is somewhat misused and I didn't really like, well, it was a bit towards the end with an overly cartoony Medusa battle. Perseus is joined by foot with a large party with a whole bunch of guys and a couple of comedy relief that don't really get enough screen time. And he's also followed around by Io, a beautiful woman who's been watching him his whole life. What guy doesn't want that? Clash of the Titans is not the best fantasy adventure out there, but it does what it set out to do. It's definitely a guy popcorn flick that could have been great, but as it is, it's plain good fun.